Yo, it's Tron. Hope everyone's having a good day, good week so far. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. And we got the one and only time I smoked hash story time. So this was a few years ago. It was, God, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. No, 4 or 5 years ago. Okay, I was like 16, 17, because I'm 21 now. Dude, it feels like all these memories, all these stories, when I say I'm like 16, 17, it feels like it was 2 years ago. It feels like it just happened. And then it's like over the span of a whole Olympics and 2 years after that. That's insane, dude. It's like, how could it be that long away? It feels like I just got out of high school. I mean, it doesn't. I hated school, so it feels like there's been a few years since then, but the partying was right at the end of high school, yet that feels closer than school. I don't know. It's weird, dude. I'm sure you guys get it. If you've graduated or it's weird. Like you get out of high school, dude, and then time flies by. It just flies by. But anyways, yeah, I'm like 16, 17, and I'm young, right? I guess that doesn't matter too much, but I didn't even know what hash was really. The only way I found out what it was entirely was because of Trailer Park Boys, right? Me and my friends at like the same time in our lives, we all started watching Trailer Park Boys, when we were like 16, 17, when we were all smoking heavy, right? And I was doing some other things at the time, but when you're watching Trailer Park Boys, that's a show you either watch high or drunk or both, right? I mean, you can watch it sober, but if you know, right? Because they're always talking about the liquor. You gotta, the liquor controls everything. Listen to the liquor. And then they're always smoking hash. They're like, oh, you got that hash, Ricky? You got that hash? So we'd seen it in the show. And in the show, it's like, it looks fake, dude. It's like a black little circle or a black square. And we're like, is that really what hash looks like? No way. It probably looks like weed. That's what we thought, right? So I had Googled it a few times and I'd seen like they have hash oils. There's different kinds, right? Like I know, but just straight up original hash, I'd never seen it before, right? No one ever had it. And then one day, dude, and when I Googled it, it showed how like there's different kinds. Like there was the hash like in the show where it's the black circle or black square or whatever. It's a little black chunk of hash. And then they showed like pens and wax pens and stuff. So I knew it's like I'd seen it online, but not in person, okay? And then one day we're at a party. It's me and the boys, like the boys that we usually went to parties together. I went to probably between 10 and 20 parties just with this group of guys, right? So I remember we had already been to the party. The party wasn't important. We already went to the party. We already did things. We're back at our friend's house, the one that drove her. He didn't drive, but that's where we all got picked up from. So we all got dropped off there too, right? There was like eight of us. And we're sitting in these lawn chairs in the backyard. Okay. So it's summer and it's nighttime. So it's what? Probably like 70 something degrees. We're all fucked up, right? Like the driver dropped us off. So everyone else, we were not DD. Basically, what that means is we're all crossed or we're all drunk or we're all high. We're all something, right? So we're sitting in the lawn chairs. We have a little fire going. We got music going. It's all good, right? Well, people started going home. People started going inside, whatever. There's only three of us left, or four of us left, right? The person whose house it was, and he had no interest in smoking at the time, right? He was a drinking boy. So he's there, but he's not like a part of the story, if you get what I'm saying, right? Then it's me and my like close friend, one I've been friends with since middle school. Like we're tight, right? And then there's this dude who's friends with the guy whose house we're at. Like he was a mutual friend. Like I had talked to him maybe three times ever. Like we saw each other more than we talked to each other. Like I'd see him, I'd be like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" We'd dab each other up, and then we wouldn't talk the rest of the night. Just because, not that we didn't like each other, we were chill. It's just we had nothing in common. Like I like sports and smoking weed, and this dude was like about cars and harder drugs. And I did harder drugs, but we didn't do the same ones anyway. So it's not, we had nothing in common basically, right? So that dude goes, "Hey, I know you guys like smoking and stuff. I have some hash I got." And we went nuts when he told us that. We're like, "You have hash? Like Trailer Park Boys? Like hash?" And he pulls it out and it's in a little baggie just like Bud would be, But instead of Bud, it's like little fucking pieces of just blackness, right? Like little squares of black. And he hands us each a little piece, and I smell it, and it smelled a little bit like weed, but it smelled mostly like dirt, like earth, right? Like I smelled it, and I was like, this is weird, right? So we're like, how do we even smoke this? Like, you can't, do you grind this? Like, what do you do with this? And he showed us, right? He grabbed his bowl and he just broke it up like normal, like weed, dude. And he's like, nah, it's like the same thing, dude. It just looks unpleasant, but it's like the same thing, right? So he puts it in there, he breaks it up, and he gave us each like a gram so we could have some to go home with. A nice guy. He was a nice guy, right? So he breaks them up, he puts it in the bowl and he rips it. And just like smoking bud, it was completely normal. Like he hit it, he blew it out, and he's like, your guys' turn, you know? And I have no tolerance to hash at this point. Like maybe I'd hit like hash oil without thinking about it, like thinking it's a cart, but it's same effects, you know? So I'd never tried the real stuff. So he hands the bowl to my friend, he hits it, and he looks at me like, oh, this is good, you know? And he hands it to me. I'm like, sweet, I'm ready to try it. I light it up, I hit it, and just like how it smelled, there was a tiny bit of like the weed taste, but mostly it tasted earthy. Like it tasted like, I don't eat salads, but no, it would like, I have eaten a salad before. It didn't taste like a salad. It tasted like what it smells like when it rains outside. You know, when it rains and you go outside and you smell that smell? That's what it tasted like. It tasted just earthly. Like, I don't know how to describe it any more than that. It didn't taste bad. It just tasted like supernatural, right? Like, it tasted natural. You hit it and you're like, "Oh, that tastes like it came from the ground." Because you know when you smoke bud, like regular bud, sometimes it tastes like, not so good, like, like, you're like, "Oh, that wheat," like, it almost tastes burnt, right? Because you are burning it, like, obviously. Sometimes it tastes a little burnt, but sometimes the weed, like, it tastes good. You hit it and you feel like what I call little dancing trees on your tongue. You feel like little things on your tongue. Sometimes it just tastes fruity, sometimes it's been sprayed so it tastes really good and you know it shouldn't taste good. I'm just saying, like, there's different flavors with weed, not with this. This was like earthly flavor, like, oh, right? But I only took 2 hits out of that bowl. If I took 2 hits of bud, dude, I'm gonna be high for 5 minutes. Like, it's not gonna last very long. I took 2 hits out of the hash bowl, waited like 5, 10 minutes. I'm sitting there. I got fried, dude. Not like edible high or not like getting high for the first time, but it was the first time for the hash. So it was strong, dude. I'm sitting in this chair and I was already crossed, like I was already drunk and high. So maybe it felt heavier than it was because I was already intoxicated. But dude, it felt great. It felt like I'm trying to think. It felt like being high, but just a little different, like a little more natural is the best way to put it. Like if you smoke bud versus smoking a cart, you know that feeling where you're like, oh, this feels, kind of more clear headed. It feels less foggy than a cart. Well, the hash felt more earthly, more natural than the bud. You get what I'm saying? Like it was like another level up. So I'm fried. I'm sitting against the chair. I'm like, this is amazing, right? Well, me and my friend, we both start walking home and we 90% of the walk we're walking right by each other, and then we split off towards the end because our houses are in two different neighborhoods, but we live right by each other. So we're walking and I had my bowl on me, but I hadn't, like, I'd been smoking weed out of it but not hash. And I'm like, hey, do you want to put our grams together and just smoke like 3 or 4 bowls in a row before we go home? And he's like, absolutely yes. Where should we smoke it? Well, there's one park that we'd usually go to that's closer to both of our houses, but there was another park we could go to where there's a gas station, a 7-Eleven, a bakery. Now it's nighttime, so the only one that's going to be open is 7-Eleven, but still, we can get a drink or something. So we go to the park, we go to 7-Eleven. I remember they had an ice cream freezer to the right when you walked into the 7-Eleven. Now, I wouldn't trust many things from 7-Eleven, but you'd think ice cream would be pretty safe, right? So I grab one of the drumsticks, the classic drumsticks, but the ice cream, where it's got the little, I don't even want to say it, the little nuts on them, okay, with the vanilla and chocolate. It's good. It's good. So I get one of those. We put our bowls together back at the park, dude. We smoke it all, okay? It took us like, I'm trying to think, probably like 30 minutes because it was 2 grams, but we had to break it up and it lasted longer than you'd think, okay? So, and once you lit it, it was a little different. The weed burns out quicker. The hash kind of stays lit for a minute, right? So it took way longer. And I was so high after I was already high. So the first bowl, back at the house got me stoned those 2 hits. But when we're ripping the bowl back and forth and we just keep putting more in there, dude, I was in the stratosphere. The best part of that was after we finished. Okay, so we finished up, we smoked 4 bowls of hash in a row. I'm high as shit, like high enough to where if it was bud, I'd be paranoid. I'd be like, oh, looking around for cops and shit. But I wasn't paranoid. I just felt high as hell. Like now I felt like I had eaten an edible, not the body high, like the tingling and shit, but just like being so mentally just bam, just like that. It was like I'm so just high that I can't even focus on anything besides one task. And my only task is getting home, right? So I'm eating this ice cream cone because I saved it for a minute and it melted a little bit, but not too bad. So I'm eating it on the way home. I'm fucking high, dude. Like I am high. And I'm walking in the middle of the road for some reason. I don't know why. It wasn't snowing, it wasn't winter. No reason for me to not walk on the side. I'm walking down the middle of the road, dude, because there was no cars. It was late at night. It was like 11 midnight, whatever time it is. Well, eventually a car does start walking up, and in my head, I'm like, there's no way that's a cop because I don't know why. I mean, it's late at night. Most cars are cops, but for some reason in my high mind, I was like, that's not going to be a cop. With my luck, like usually, when people say with my luck, bad things are going to happen, but I usually have good luck. So I was like, nah, I don't think I'll see a cop, dude. I'm walking down the middle of the road, high as fuck, eating this ice cream cone, and a cop just rolls right by me, dude. And he didn't stop. He just went slow, like he was checking out what was going on. And it was definitely after curfew. I'm just eating this ice cream, but fuck it, right? And I walk home. Like, what are you gonna do? What is the cop gonna do? Tell me to go home? Like, I was already on my way home. What are you gonna do? He wasn't gonna stop me. I wouldn't have talked to him anyways, so we were on the same page there. But I walk in my front door, dude, absolutely stoned. I go to the or not the sink. I go to the kitchen because I'm like, damn, I need a drink, right? And I'd finished my ice cream, and it melted all over my hands, so I had to wash my hands, dude. I open the fridge. I'm like, please, I need something good. Like I need something that's not water. I was thirsty. I needed to chug something, and I'm looking around. What is there gonna be? Right? There's cranberry juice. No, that's not what I'm gonna drink. Right? I'm looking around. Give me something. Boom. Back of the fridge. There's a Sunny D. Yes, dude. Yes. I grabbed that Sunny D. I cracked it open, dude, and I chugged that hoe. I chugged the whole thing. Okay. It was one of the bigger ones with the little like nipples, like the bottles. You get what I'm saying? Like the baby bottles. They call those nipples, right? So it looked like one of those. I just grabbed that whole thing and I chugged it, dude. And it like, when it bends in because you chug so fast, whether it's a water bottle or anything, you chug so fast that it just bends in because of the air. That's how fast I chugged that thing. And then I was like, yeah, I chugged it and I didn't spike it, but I felt, anytime you chug something, you feel powerful. I felt like Stone Cold Steve Austin chugging a beer. I chugged it. I was like, yes. And then who knows what happened after that? I probably passed out or whatever. But that was hash for the first time. And just those 2 hits got me sent. Like I was high. So smoking 4 bowls in a row, it doesn't do justice just me talking about it. Like think about a time that you were uncomfortably high. That's how high I was. Just for some reason, I wasn't uncomfortable. I don't know if there was a difference between the hash and normal bud or if it was just my mentality. Like I was like, oh, this is different. I feel good, instead of being like overly high and paranoid. I don't know. But yeah, that was my experience. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Sub, share, like, comment if you want. Check out my other videos, become a member. But all good. I just appreciate you guys watching. And if you need someone to talk to, you're going through something for real, need someone to talk to, my Instagram is linked, same name as my YouTube. Just go there, DM me. It's linked in the whole bio of my YouTube. So if you just click on my YouTube, you'll see it. DM me. I'll get back to it in a day or two. I also answer all positive comments. So thanks for watching. Be safe. Peace out.